Listen, by the way, you can come in, ask a question or give a comment. Our discussion today is about food security. We are speaking to Rose Ogola from the the United Nations World Food Program, talking about way forward in terms of having a sustainable strategy in terms of food security. Good morning. Welcome to the Power Breakfast Show. You have a question or comment? Hello? Is that speaker on? Okay. Is that speaker on? Is it? Okay. Expound a bit more in terms of two things. One, how closely do you work with government as World Food Program in terms of food sustenance? And I'm also very keen to find out about the Purchase for Progress. Very interesting concept. How far, I know you're in 21 countries, how well are we doing it in Kenya? How impactful is it here in Kenya?
Well, I think P4P is doing pretty well in Kenya. I can tell you for a fact that we have people who are WFP beneficiaries. That means they depended on us for food assistance. And they're now our suppliers. They're selling food to us.
That's brilliant.
Okay? Mm-hmm. So that is how I think how sustainable P4P can be. And people are embracing it because, like I said, the reason why they did not grow some of these crops is they had nowhere to take it.
Absolutely.
I mean, if you're going to grow sorghum and sell it at 3 shillings per kilo, you might as well try maize, ile kubatisha, maize, and hope that you get, because if you, a lot more, because if you harvest, then per kilo you might get maybe 30 bob or something like that.
Yes.
Yeah. But when you know you have a market, then you're going to grow that. So you find in a place like even in Eldoret, for instance, we have a group of widows affected, uninfected by HIV and AIDS, which means they were really low physically and all that. But we have HIV programs that provide supplementary food assistance to vulnerable people, like people with HIV, children, expectant mothers. So they get strong, then they grow their own crop, and they sell it to us. And that is really good. You go to a place like Transmara, for instance, they've grown maize, and we're purchasing from them. So you go to a place like even Ukambani. People have always said that people in Ukambani depend on food assistance, that they must get relief and that kind of thing.
Explain.
But they have sold to us.
Wow. People
in Mwingi have sold sorghum to us. They've sold cowpeas to us.
It has a huge effect in terms of the economic well-being. I mean, has it affected their families?
Of course.
Are they able then to take the kids to schools?
Absolutely. And then we use that same food to provide assistance who are not in a similar situation.
Well done.
Yes.
Good morning. Welcome to the Power Breakfast. So you have a question or comment?
Hello, Judy.
Yeah, good morning, sir.
Morning.
Yeah.
I was just wondering. The WFP.
Yes.
It's duplicating the work of the FAO.
Sorry, so repeat the question, please.
I was wondering.
Yes.
The WFP.
Yes.
Is it duplicating the work of the FAO? The Food
and Agricultural Organization. Good question.
Bosire, yes, correct.
Okay, Bosire, thank you. Thank you very much, Bosire from Karen. Are you duplicating what Food and Allied Organization?
No, we're not. We're not duplicating what FAO is doing because we're working with people who, under normal circumstances, would be our food, would fall under our food assistance programs. But instead of just giving them, food for today and tomorrow they have nothing, then we work with them to help them improve their own food security. The other thing I would like to tell Basire is that, there's what you call concerted efforts.
Yes.
Like we cannot work alone. We will work with other people. We'll work with other agencies, other UN agencies, UNDP also. We'll also work with the government and other agencies that are probably working, who have a similar focus.
That's right.
So it's not duplication.
I see what you mean.
Let's call it partnerships.
What can we learn from countries that experience, let me say, a lack of water, across the seasons? Israel, it's very, very, very food sustainable, despite their terrain, so to speak. Look at countries, that dominate the Sahara Desert, so to speak, and are still able to sustain themselves in terms of food security. What can countries like Kenya, who have, good, well-rounded rainy season all round. There may be instances of drought, but, for some reason we are unable to always sustain ourselves in as far as food security is concerned. What can we learn from countries like Israel?
Well, you see, like you're saying, countries like Israel, they can go for years without a drop of rain, yet they export food.
Yes.
Actually export
food, yes.
Now, Kenya, on the other hand, we may experience our frequent droughts, but we experience good rains. And even sometimes when they come in torrents.
Oh, yes.
Yeah? And that is why we're encouraging people, even in those arid areas, to make sure that they harvest. If you harvested water and I harvested water and everybody harvested water, that means we have water. Build water ponds to hold that water for some time. Where it's possible, put up tanks.
Yes.
So that you trap this rain water and you use it after the rains have gone. So there's a lot to learn from these countries, and with the right policies in place, like what now the government is trying to do, trying to put a lot of focus on irrigation. Yes. I think we are heading there.
In the right direction.
We're heading there in the right direction. Of course, like I said, it's going to take a bit of time. But it will happen.
Absolutely.
If we remain focused, if the country remains focused, we'll get there. I
see what you mean.
Yes.
I had asked you earlier, maybe we just got carried away with P4P. I like that concept. Brilliant. Is there a way, or does World Food Program have a stronger impact on government in terms of taking some of these policies perhaps a lot more seriously, in terms of a longer sustenance? Do you advise them strongly, and do they listen to you in terms of saying, I know you've got many policies that you need to work out. You've got, rural electrification policy that needs to be up and running. You've got this and that. But in terms of, a hungry man is a very angry man, so to speak. Make sure that he's got something, to eat at the end of the day. Do you insist on certain policies that must be taken seriously first in terms of food security, or is that an exercise in futility? All you do is really advise and let them decide on their own?
The one thing I'd like to point out is that the government is one of our major partners. The government is one of our major partners. There's nothing we'd be able to do without government support. So even when we talk about trying to put policies or systems in place that improve food security, we do it together with the government. Because some of these technologies, we'll work with the government. We'll have maybe government expertise or government working with us to identify the communities or the right areas where we can implement some of these projects. So in terms of support from the government, we get a lot of support from the government. In terms of us insisting on certain policies, we don't do that. I mean, if we want to do something, we'll sit with the government and say, this is what we propose to do, and this is how we propose to do it. This is the kind of assistance we need from the government. Most times we will get the kind of assistance.
Because I'm looking at countries like Malawi where they say, you know what, this issue of having to import food, we need to stop it. So they, very strongly decided, we're going to be a food sustainable country, and we're even going to export some of it. And that's what does it take a particular person to say that? Does it take a certain policy to be able to strengthen that, or?
Well, it takes various things. One, because you could have policies, but they're just that. They're just policies.
You shove them into
exactly, yeah.
Absolutely.
So it takes a lot of things. It takes policies. It takes a leader, and the focus, and the what can I call it? The drive, if I may use that word, yeah.
Good morning. Welcome to. Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Hey.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir. You have a question?
I would like to ask the madam.
Yes, sir.
Since she's working with the drought,
Yes.
And in case from January to December,
Yes.
we are seeing people eat leaves of trees in some other parts of Kenya as if they are not in Kenya. Yet people talk of 2030. Are they part of the 2030? And if they are part of 2030, how are we going to achieve the 2030 when other parts people are eating leaves, goats, which are dead, dogs? How can she advise the government so that they can help the other part of the country, which is ever dry things?
I see what you